Let us now examine the areas of concern in relation to data privacy and protection in limited face to face classes. We will also discuss strategies that could somehow address this set of concerns. The first area of concern is on the use of a learning management system like MySol for Silliman University, Google Classroom or Edmodo, and online productivity platforms like Google Docs, Google Drive, and Kahoot. So, to be able to address the concern on this area, all activities pertaining to online learning should, to the extent possible, be conducted via the educational institution's officially adopted learning management system or online productivity platform. The educational institution shall make sure it has adequate data protection features and is governed by an appropriate policy and or a manual if the official LMS or OOP has been developed in-house. The use of the official LMS or OOP adopted by an educational institution, either owned and or provided by a third party, should be covered by a data processing outsourcing agreement or any equivalent document. Also, an announcement or posting that involves personal data, like for example, grades, results of assignments, or the likes, should be made in a manner that only makes it viewable by its intended recipient. So, for example, in the case of exam results, it should be given on an individual basis and should not be released in mass even if the students belong to the same class. With regards to downloading of personal data stored in the LMS or OPP, it should be kept to a minimum and or limited to that which is necessary for the online learning. Ideally, a policy should determine what is necessary for such purpose. In relation with that, it is also important that any downloaded data be retained only until there is a legitimate need for such offline copy. This, too, may be covered by an appropriate policy. There should be mechanisms in place also so that submissions, like for the case of assignments or projects, may be carried out in a safe and secure manner. Submissions via social media platforms are, of course, discouraged since these platforms were never designed for such purpose. And exercise caution when integrating applications, tools, and other services to an LMS or OPP. They may introduce vulnerabilities to an otherwise secure system. A privacy impact assessment may be undertaken by a multidisciplinary team before formalizing any plan for integration. The team shall review key areas such as security, data protection, compatibility, and administration. To address the concern on the other available unofficial supporting tools used in the classroom, take note that the use of tools or technologies for online interaction that have not been officially adopted by an educational institution, meaning to say there is no formal relationship between the institution and the developer of these tools, should be limited. If or when these tools are being evaluated in terms of the level of protection they provide to personal data uploaded to them or processed through their use, an educational institution may determine if they are covered by any industry accepted certification or third party audit report such as the Philippine National Standards ISO or IEC, The system and organization controls type 2 trust services criteria or the higher education community vendor assessment toolkit. Another thing, the geographical location of the developer or provider of an online tool or platform, including its data centers, as well as the governing laws in said jurisdiction, should also be considered as part of the evaluation. While the Data Privacy Act has extraterritorial application, its enforcement may be rendered impossible or at least extremely difficult depending on said location and the laws therein. Ideally, a privacy impact assessment should be conducted prior to the use of these tools in order to determine the level and type of attendant risk. The PIA should include a proper personal data inventory.